Monday, July 28th, 2025, Monaco 64, home of alternative economics and contrarian views. Well, I've been warning for years about the UK debt situation, the coming economic collapse. And yes, people thought I was crazy, a bit of a conspiracy theorist, but I'm seeing all across the mainstream media people talking about that. Supposed respected analysts out there talking about the fact that we're seeing a brain drain or a millionaire and billionaire drain of the economy, capital flowing out of the UK, and that's normal under such an environment. So we'll look at that a little bit today and what I think the solution is and how you can protect yourself. Before I do, though, just like to talk a little bit about this US EU trade deal. Well, I thought the markets would react really bullishly. By that, I mean the stock market. But as I look at things this morning, and it's 7:22 a.m. London time, we've got actually the Dow up only 0.5%, right near the highs. The Nasdaq 100 is up about 2/3%, and the S&P is up 0.5%. In terms of the currencies, I thought the euro would crash, but no, the euro is down only 0.16% at 117.22. The dollar is at 134.13, or the pound, excuse me, is at 134.13, down about zero point 0.2. So what's going on here? Well, we'll have to wait and see. And I'm going to be interviewing someone soon who has some really interesting information about this trade deal. And I'm going to wait until I speak to him to come out with this information. But to me, it seems like maybe the consolidation we've seen in the dollar in terms of the dollar index. We've seen a little bit of the market go sideways. I think that could be over, and we could see another massive leg down in the dollar. We've got the FOMC meeting starting, I think, tomorrow and ending on Wednesday. Nothing really is expected in terms of rate cuts, but you never know. We also saw that the U.S. postponed again the imposition of tariffs on China for another 90 days. And I think that's related to rare earths. China has the rare earth card to play. So what about gold and silver? I expected them to be clobbered this morning or overnight, and they have, well, they were early on actually. Gold traded as low as 33.17, but right now we're at 33.40, up about $3. The high's been 45. Silver got down just below 38, but it's now at 38.25, up about 10 cents. So that's what's going on there. Not a very bullish reaction by the markets, I would say, but it's still early days. When the US comes in, that could change. We'll have to see. In terms of the bond market, I've noticed the Japanese bond market, there's been a little bit of some relief there. The 10-year yield is down 4 basis points at 156. The 30 year is down 3 at 303, and the 40 years at 332. 10-year yield, US Treasury, that's unchanged at 440. So the markets are pretty steady in terms of bond markets. And now back to the UK. And I've got a couple of playlists. One of them is the UK debt time bomb. And that, of course, has been accumulating for many decades. Unfortunately, in the past few hundred years, when the UK has participated in wars, for example, the Napoleonic Wars, it drives up the national debt. but eventually they drive it down. They go back to sound money. They stop spending, and that's what they did in the 19th century. But ever since World War One, we haven't reversed any of that. And then the UK got into World War Two, and now I guess 5 years ago, the pandemic was an excuse to get into even more debt. 2008 also was an excuse to get into even more debt. They had to bail out the banks and people who who bought houses they couldn't afford and took on huge mortgages. So I don't see any way out except more currency debasement, which we have seen. I mean, the price of gold, excuse me, has gone from around 220 pounds when I first bought some in 2002 to now around 2,500, and it's going to get worse and worse in terms of the paper pound. And the economic collapse also that's linked to the debt. It's also linked, unfortunately, to the Keynesian mentality that both sides of the political aisle have been following. Yes, the Tories, they play a little bit of the free market card, but deep down, they're socialists as well, which is really strange, isn't it? Reform is supposed to change that, but I wouldn't hold my breath. And there's still another 4 years to the general election, even though I admit that could change. But yeah, so I wouldn't wait for politicians to solve things for you. Politicians, they're only really looking after their interests and the interests of the people who keep them in power. And who are these people? Well, it's the banking cartel. It's the big corporations, the big arms manufacturers. They're the ones who keep them in power. And they're the ones who push for these never-ending conflicts abroad. And now, of course, we've got a new enemy in Russia. Actually, it's not a new enemy. It's been an enemy for almost 200 years now for some reason. And yeah, it started with the Crimean War and it's continuing. I just saw a headline as well that the one of the ministers in the government said that the UK is ready to defend Taiwan. I wonder I wonder how he's looking to do that. So I've been warning about this virtually since I started this channel, and I've been saying that this fiat currency system, which we're under, which allows a government to spend and borrow like crazy, and that's what they've been doing. Unfortunately, the only way we're going to go to a more sane way of running things is after an implosion of the system. And that's not even guaranteed. We could get something worse. But in the meantime, I think you can protect yourself if you've been following what I've been saying, and it's not advice, but some people have, like getting out of debt, uh, acquiring as much gold and silver as possible. And in the UK, of course, the best way to own gold and silver is through coins of the realm. And why is that? Well, because they're still a legal tender. The sovereign is a legal tender coin, and so are all the other minted coins in the UK. So they don't incur any capital gains tax. Could that change? Maybe. I doubt it because the people in charge, believe me, they have some gold and silver, and I don't think they would want to do that. And they're not too concerned for you, for the general public, because people are still fast asleep to what's going on and how they can protect themselves through gold and silver. Um, am I going to leave the UK? I know there's a lot of talk about the censorship now online. Well, uh, who knows? I mean, as things stand right now, things are fine for me. Of course, where do you go? That's another question because I don't see any other place where things are that great. So the other thing I would say about the UK, and hopefully you've been doing the right thing and not waiting for someone to come and save you, is that when there is a kind of collapse, and it's going to be interesting to see how that comes about. Um, yeah, there's always opportunity, a lot of opportunity, and hopefully you'll be able to like find some opportunities to buy some really valuable assets in your way of thinking. Everyone has a different liking, right? But yeah, one way we could see things continue to evolve is a continued debasement of the currency, continued rise in the cost of living, continued artificial rise in asset prices, even housing, the stock market. But yeah, eventually the UK doesn't have the world's reserve currency anymore, and like back in the 70s, it might have to call in the IMF, but does the IMF have any money either? So uh, I don't know what's going to happen exactly. We could have more and more government interference, and that's uh, the reason why I'm not too optimistic. They're going to keep digging and digging with more socialism, not just for the welfare state, but also for corporations. That's the other thing. A lot of times I talk about socialism, and people have a go at me saying, well, uh, people need help. Not really. People need to be self-sufficient, and that's not just people on the welfare side of things, but also on the corporate side. Why should a bankrupt government like the UK subsidize companies to come and invest here? That's the wrong thing to do. What's the other factors that are creating more and more trouble for the UK economy? Well, I interviewed 3 years ago or so a former minister in the Tory government, Peter Lilly, about the climate change move, the net zero. And he was one of the only MPs back in 2008 to vote against the Climate Change Act of '08, which you probably never heard of because it was passed right uh, when Lehman was collapsing, when the world financial system was melting down, and no one really noticed it. And there are only five MPs who voted against it. And he told me 3 years ago that these renewable energies, they wouldn't be catching on, so to speak, if it wasn't for subsidies. And who's paying for the subsidies? We are. And yeah, that's driving the competitiveness of the country down the drain because companies have to pay for energy, and it's driving, yeah, it's driving the consumer down the drain. But I don't see them changing it. I don't see even another government, be it reform or the Tories, changing it. They're all going to go along with it because if reform wants to be part of the establishment, they're going to have to play along. Yeah, right now they sound really anti-establishment, but we all know that when people get to power, yeah, yeah, they do as they're told. Politics is just a distraction, people. It's to keep us divided. So yeah, that's what's going on. What am I doing? Well, I'm looking after myself, I guess, health-wise, my family, and financially as well. trying to keep stacking as much as possible. And if you want to start stacking, and by that I mean buying physical gold and silver, and you don't know how to do it, well, here in the UK, you can contact Oliver and Simon Temple at Gold Investments. All the details are below in the description. Tell them that I sent you there, and they'll help you. You can go there and meet them, or you can do everything online. And in the US as well, I don't think, unfortunately, the US economy is out of the woods. It's going the same way as the UK economy. It's got even more debt and more problems. I would say yes, they're trying to fix things, but it's a long shot. So yeah, in the US, you can contact Mouse Franklin. They're my affiliate there if you're looking to buy gold and silver, or if you already do. And yeah, there's a link below in the description, a landing page with Monaco 64. So yeah, let's see what happens later on today in terms of the markets, um, the short-term noise. A lot of people expect the stock market to crash, but it keeps melting up. We'll have to see. We are, of course, approaching the period of the year where a lot of times you see financial crisis, and that is September, October. So we might still have some time to uh, clean up things financially. And with that, I'm going to wish you all a very good day. Take care. Bye.